I'd like to take a moment to let you all know about a new non-profit organization started by my brother Craig. It's called Treats and Truth. They fill oversized brown lunch bags with snack items, chips, crackers, popcorn, cookies, etc. Also, a bottle of water, toothbrush, toothpaste, sanitary wipes, and most importantly, a small gospel-tract book of John. No cigar? I'll have to talk to him about that. The bags are then hand-delivered to the homeless and people in need in and around the Los Angeles area. Let's help get this ministry off the ground. They're a 501c3 tax-exempt organization, so any and all donations are tax-deductible and greatly appreciated. Visit their website at treatsandtruth.org. Check out the show notes for the link. Also, please follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you. Welcome to episode 122 of the Burning Bush Podcast, where we share the message of the Bible while enjoying a good cigar. Hope you're doing well, and I'm glad you've joined me. And today we are reading the New Testament book of Matthew, chapter 23, with commentary from the notes in the Charles Spurgeon Study Bible. And I'm smoking the Aroma de Cuba Edicion Especial, number 5, in the 5.5 by 52 Vitola. So let's go to the Aroma de Cuba website and see what they have to say. A golden brown Cuban seed wrapper leaf harvested in the volcanic landscape of Ecuador shimmers over a premium interior of vintage Nicaraguan long filler tobaccos. The zesty Cubanesque profile unveils enticing notes of smoked almond, leather, cocoa, and coffee bean with ample spice. Tremendous nuances of intensity and taste come to life in a series of traditional sizes. And the strength is medium to full. Country is Nicaragua, and the wrapper is Ecuador Habano. Tasting notes are smoked almond, cocoa, coffee bean, leather, and spice. And the Vitolas are the number 1, 5.625 by 46. The number 2, 5 by 50. The number 3, 6 by 50. Number 4, 7 by 49. The number 5, 5.5 by 52. And the number 60, 6 by 60. And it was rated in the top 10 cigars of the year by Cigar Aficionado in 2008. Top 25 cigars of the year by Cigar Aficionado in 2020, and it got a 94 rating in December of 2020. That is the Aroma de Cuba Edicion Especial. So let's go ahead and get back into this week's reading of the book of Matthew, chapter 23. And I'm reading from the English Standard Version, the ESV. And verse 1 reads, "Then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, 'The scribes and the Pharisees sit on Moses' seat. So do and observe whatever they tell you, but not the works they do. For they preach, but do not practice. They tie up heavy burdens, hard to bear, and lay them upon people's shoulders, but they themselves are not willing to move them with their finger. They do all their deeds to be seen by others, for they make their phylacteries broad and their fringes long, and they love the place of honor at feasts and the best seats in the synagogues, and greetings in the marketplaces, and being called Rabbi by others. But you are not to be called Rabbi, for you have one teacher, and you are all brothers. And call no man your father on earth, for you have one Father who is in heaven. Neither be called instructors, for you have one instructor, the Christ. The greatest among you shall be your servant. Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. But woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you shut the kingdom of heaven in people's faces. For you neither enter yourselves, nor allow those who would enter to go in. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you travel across sea and land to make a single proselyte, and when he becomes a proselyte, you make him twice as much a child of hell as yourselves. Woe to you, blind guides, who say, if anyone swears by the temple, it is nothing, but if anyone swears by the gold of the temple, he is bound by his oath. You blind fools, for which is greater, the gold or the temple that has made the gold sacred? And you say, if anyone swears by the altar, it is nothing, but if anyone swears by the gift that is on the altar, he is bound by his oath. You blind men, for which is greater, the gift or the altar that makes the gift sacred? So whoever swears by the altar swears by it and everything on it. And whoever swears by the temple swears by it and by him who dwells in it. And whoever swears by heaven swears by the throne of God and by him who sits upon it. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you tithe mint and dill and cumin, and have neglected the weightier matters of the law, justice and mercy and faithfulness. These you ought to have done, without neglecting the others. You blind guides, straining out a gnat and swallowing a camel. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you clean the outside of the cup and the plate, but inside they are full of greed and self-indulgence. You blind Pharisee, first clean the inside of the cup and the plate, that the outside also may be clean. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you are like the whitewashed tombs, which outwardly appear beautiful, but within are full of dead people's bones and all uncleanness. So you also outwardly appear righteous to others, but within you are full of hypocrisy and lawlessness. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you build the tombs of the prophets and decorate the monuments of the righteous, saying, if we had lived in the days of our fathers, we would not have taken part with them in shedding the blood of the prophets. Thus you witness against yourselves that you are sons of those who murdered the prophets. Fill up, then, the measure of your fathers. You serpents, you brood of vipers, how are you to escape being sentenced to hell? Therefore I send you prophets and wise men and scribes, some of whom you will kill and crucify, and some you will flog in your synagogues and persecute from town to town, so that on you may come all the righteous blood shed on earth, from the blood of righteous Abel to the blood of Zechariah, the son of Berechiah, whom you murdered between the sanctuary and the altar. Truly I say to you, all these things will come upon this generation. And Spurgeon comments on verses 35 and 36, so all the righteous blood shed on earth will be charged to you, from the blood of righteous Abel to the blood of Zechariah, son of Berechiah, whom you murdered between the sanctuary and the altar. Truly I tell you, all these things will come on this generation. So they did. The destruction of Jerusalem was more terrible than anything the world had ever witnessed. There must have been nearly 1.25 million of people killed during that terrible siege, and even Titus, the Roman general, when he saw the awful carnage, said, what must be the folly of this people, that they drive me to such work as this? Surely the hand of an avenging God must be in it. Truly, the blood of the martyrs slain in Jerusalem was amply avenged when the whole city became a veritable field of blood. Matthew chapter 27, verse 8, and Acts chapter 1, verse 19. And back to Matthew verse 37. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to it. How often I would have gathered your children together, as a hen gathers her brood under her wings, and you were not willing. And Spurgeon comments on verse 37. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, who kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to her. How often I wanted to gather your children together, as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, but you were not willing. This verse shows that the ruin of men and women lies with themselves. Christ put it plainly, I wanted, but you were not willing. We must hold tenaciously to the truth that salvation is all of grace, but we also believe with equal firmness that the ruin of a person is entirely the result of his own sin. The will of God saves, the will of man that condemns. Jerusalem stood and was preserved by the grace and favor of the Most High God. But Jerusalem eventually burned to the ground, and her stones were razed to the ground because of the transgression and iniquity of those who provoked the justice of God. But before that happened, Jesus the Messiah said he wanted to take them into a place of blessing. And if anyone is eager and desirous to have it, Jesus is willing to give blessings to them as well, this blessing of eternal life. And back to Matthew verse 38. See, your house is left to you desolate. For I tell you, you will not see me again until you say, Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. And that's the end of today's reading in the book of Matthew. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to the Charles Spurgeon Study Bible, as well as today's cigar. Also, Groundworks Ministries for daily Bible studies and devotionals. Treats and Truth Ministry, where you can get involved in helping to spread the gospel to and be a blessing to the homeless. And the Burning Bush Merchandise Store, where you can pick up some items to help spread the word about the show. And if you know anyone who needs to hear this, please let them know about the podcast and help share the message of the Bible, the hope we have in Yeshua Messiah, Jesus Christ. And if you'd like to contact me, you can email me at steve@theburningbushpodcast.com, which is linked in the show notes as well. So until next time, have a great day, have a great cigar, and God bless.